see it.
Hey everyone, what's up? This is Muzz with NerdKO and the NerdKO Versus podcast. Today I'm here with
Josh
and
Sleazy.
And we're going to be talking about E3, of course. Who isn't talking about E3 right now? And we have a bunch of notes. And how are we going to do this? Let's go console by console.
I just want to say first, I love how organized your notes are. You're like, all right,
we're
going to
man.
do this.
He's got like a whole book.
Yeah, each page is one for each console. I'm not going to concentrate like on Bethesda and Ubisoft and all that because we already know a lot of their games and what's going on and what we're interested in. But I think when it comes right down to it, most people are most interested in the consoles and what's coming out for each console, what the big three are doing. And honestly, that's what I like to look at most too. Because exclusive content to me is the most important thing that we talk about with E3 and all that. So,
right.
But first, I figure we should talk about the multi-platform games. And just like all the stuff that we're going to be checking out, and the ones we're most interested in. And I jotted down a few of the ones, and if you guys remember anything that I missed, let me know. But I started with just everything that's the hottest and the best that is coming out, and of course that starts off with Fallout 4.
Oh yeah. Everyone went nuts. My dad, in particular, is crazy excited about Fallout 4.
Yeah.
It's one of those games that they're so big that I never, ever finish them, but I appreciate them for the immersive experience that they represent.
My favorite story is when Fallout 3 first came out, I got the game, I started playing it, I beat it, 16 hours. I was like, wow, that's it? That's what the hype is? Everyone's talking about all this time they put into it. So I thought maybe I did myself a disservice by running through the game. So I went to my save right before I beat the game. And I just kind of wandered out into the wasteland and started checking everything out. Lo and behold, 190 hours later or something, I ended up beating the game again.
That's awesome.
And I was blown away, like, oh my god, I didn't even realize there was this much content stuffed into this game. So, yeah, Fallout 4 being the biggest world they've ever made. And another really cool thing, PC mods included on the Xbox One version for free.
And that's something that it's been like the PC Master Race has always had bragging rights about when it came to console fans. Was like, oh, we can do mods and you can't. Right. Hopefully this starts a trend where you start to see some kind of an infrastructure get built where more games can take advantage of that kind of technology.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Then what else? We got Dark Souls 3. I'm not...
I'm happy for those fans.
Yeah.
That's all I can say.
The Division. And we watched the trailer for that earlier because I was specifically saying, Sleazy, how much I think you would like a game like that.
Yeah, I don't know if I'll like it, but I might play it.
I think when we do the podcast after it comes out, you're gonna come out saying, I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, because it's a kind of online experience I think you'll enjoy.
Yeah.
Now, me, personally, I'm not really going to play it. It looks amazing, but the online stuff just isn't for me. I like that solo experience more than anything.
I've talked to a lot of people like that. Like, it's weird because so many people tout multiplayer as something that just has to be present in any game that's going to be a success. Right. That's not true. There are tons of people. All they want to do is enjoy the game by themselves.
Well, Fallout 4 is an example.
Right. And it's weird that you mentioned that because one of the things, I think one of the best values I ever got in gaming, bang for the buck, was my dad came up to visit one time. We were running around the mall. My mom was shopping or something. We stopped at GameStop and I found a copy of Fallout New Vegas. And he was like, oh, what's this game? I was like, it's really good. You should check it out. So I just bought it for him. It was like $6. I was like, here, take this home. Let me know what you think. Lo and behold, like 80 hours later, my dad's still playing that game. Adores the Fallout series.
Yeah, you can't beat it. What else? Oh, and another one up your alley is the Rainbow Six Siege.
Yeah, I do enjoy Rainbow Six games. I haven't played one in a very long time.
Yeah. What was the last one that came out? What was it? Vegas 2?
Yeah, it was obviously the squad one. And yeah, it was on 360.
Yeah, any of the
we're talking.
Yeah, I don't even pay attention.
7 years ago.
Yeah, I don't care.
I like
nah.
I've loved Clancy games ever since I played. I want to say not Splinter Cell. What was it?
Splinter Cell is the most enjoyable I've played.
He doesn't like the squad-based games.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's
Rainbow
the first one I ever played was a Rainbow Six for the Dreamcast. I want to say, which I think was a port from another system.
I think wasn't that the PC version?
I think it was.
Yeah, that was the original Rainbow Six, wasn't it?
It might have been.
I don't know. I remember the first one I played was on N64.
Which I think was the same one that was on the Dreamcast. And
probably.
I don't know. And I just remember that, like, there was one level I was stuck on forever.
Because it was a really
And I came home after like putting it down for like a couple months, and I just went through and beat that level in one run, and I was like, wow.
What did I do different?
Yeah, like how?
Well, what about, and I know you guys are both interested in Star Wars Battlefront.
I am. I'm very interested.
Yeah.
You know me.
In stereo, we're available.
Right.
I love Battlefield, so Star Wars and Battlefield.
Yeah.
That's all it is, and I can't wait to kill someone with a TIE fighter. Like, I just want to just fly it right into him. Just fly it right into him.
If that really is what the in-game engine looks like, I mean, that's just completely brilliant. Like, I could not get over the graphics on it. Because, I mean, if you had just slightly bad eyesight and you watch it, you might mistake that for, like, a clip from a Star Wars trailer or something. Like, I was blown away by the lighting.
You know, up to E3, a lot of people were just bashing that game.
Yeah.
Like, they were saying, oh, they're just putting it out for money, which they are. But
what game isn't put out for money? You know?
I mean, they're companies that need to make money.
Mm-hmm.
And it was supposed to debut in a couple of conventions I had heard, and it didn't test well, and they didn't present it. Mm-hmm. So, but I haven't seen much footage from E3. Mm-hmm. I did watch some of the gameplay on my phone one night, and it looks pretty awesome.
Looks pretty solid to me. How about that Hitman?
That looks sweet.
I'm hoping. Here's the thing. I'm waiting for that moment in Hitman, I guess, because like I played some of the early games and I enjoyed them, but then I feel like the series just for some reason it just wasn't gripping me any longer, and I was waiting for that moment where it kind of had like its Tomb Raider remake sort of moment, and I'm hoping that that's what this is. Well, where mechanics kind of get refined, I think, is the thing that I'm looking for.
Yeah. Leading up to this, they had talked about Absolution. And that they had simplified everything for Absolution, and that this new one is something they were kind of gearing towards the hardcore gamers. It's going to be more difficult. It's going to be, a little less hold your hand and a little more figure it out. Right. So I'm hoping for that.
I always had a great deal of respect for the Hitman series. One, because Agent 47 is just a complete badass. Like, one of the ultimate badasses, I would say, even in gaming. Yeah. And the other thing is, I grew up and a long time ago, stealth action was my absolute favorite genre. Like, if a new Metal Gear came out or if a new Tenchu came out, like, those were my jam. Love those games.
Well, how about Assassin's Creed Syndicate?
Meh.
Did anyone see that?
I didn't see it.
You didn't see it? Okay, well, let me walk you through. Have you seen Peaky Blinders?
Of course, I haven't really played any of the Assassin's Creed games, with the exception of a little bit of one, and being at a party and saying, hey, here's the sticks.
I loved the first one, and then I just got exhausted.
Now, see, I've enjoyed, I played up, I didn't play 3, and I didn't play Black Flag. Those look kind of to me. Right. This one looks like it's bringing it back in a major way. It's late 1800s London industrial, Yeah. And I brought up Peaky Blinders just because it's a great show, and it's got those streets of London gangs, and that's what you have in this one. And they're all wearing the bowler caps, and they're all wearing the raggy suits. It just looks.
Well, I feel like any game that just anecdotally references anything remotely steampunk, you're gonna have a good time. Except for The Order. Let's forget about The Order.
No, not so much.
Not so much. It was beautiful, but
Then there was Disney Infinity 3.0. I don't think any of us care about that.
No, I want to care about it. Here's my eternal struggle with Skylanders and Disney Infinity. The new game comes out with little figures that I think are adorable. I run out and I buy a bunch of them, and I'm like, why did I do this? And they just gather dust. So.
Now, see, I feel that way about Skylanders. I love Skylanders, but then I look at Infinity, I don't like as much.
Really?
And they've got the exclusive Star Wars starter pack for the PS4. And I think it was the PS4 at least. I may be wrong there, but I think it was PS4. And what was it? Rise Against the Empire and Twilight of the Republic and the Boba Fett figure and all this. And I'm watching it and I'm, Yeah, so I think that's all there is. Lego Dimensions, I think we talked about once already. That looks good. I know you're ready for Arkham Knight.
Arkham Knight, I am.
Yes, sir.
It just makes my pants fit funny. I'm so excited for that game.
I'm in a debate next week because I have a quarterly meeting at work, so I'm stuck in that most of the day. And then as soon as I get off work, I really want to go to a concert that's here in town. But then I'm like, Arkham Knight. And I'm just like, what do I do?
See, that's the thing. Like, I feel like I almost lucked out. Like, I would have been at work, which would have messed me up a little bit for Arkham Knight, but I instead got stuck with jury duty for the next 2 weeks.
Jury duty rocks, dude.
It's not that bad. I don't
Jury duty's awesome.
You took the letter and you opened it and you mailed them back?
No, was I supposed to do that?
No, how did it work? I once got a letter saying, hey, you're required to be, and I was like, oh, I never got that.
Oh no, I like jury.
I never heard anything after, so I was happy.
Jury duty is basically 2 weeks of you surfing the internet and getting paid like an extra $20 a day.
Speak for yourself, sir. I had jury duty, and this was back when you were at City Center. So when I had an hour lunch, I could walk over and hang out with you. But I turned in my paperwork, and I literally sat down, and they called me up for voyeur. And I was on a 2-week case. But, what can you do?
See, I just sat there. And it's weird because I feel like if you sit there long enough, they start trying to come up with activities for you. Like at summer camp, like, who wants to come look at the judges' chambers?
Yeah, nobody wants to come.
Okay.
How about Black Ops 3? Any interest there? Anyone?
I like the Black Ops flavor of Call of Duty. I will pick it up, probably. Again, I don't understand like this whole Xbox or We Riot thing. I don't know if the game is exclusive to PS4 or if it, like you said, it's just certain...
I believe it's just content.
Content is exclusive to PS4. And if it's just content, that makes the whole Xbox or We Riot all the more ridiculous. Like, what a stupid hashtag.
I'm so uninterested in a new Black Ops game.
Really?
That, I don't even care. Riot, no Riot, whatever.
Right.
How about Metal Gear Solid Phantom Pain?
I'm excited, but Metal Gear has almost become so much of an unwieldy beast as it's continued to go on. Like, I'm not sure. Like, I appreciate that it's massive and that it's immersive and you've got all this flexibility and everything, but I don't know. I just feel like that story's starting to run
Is there a lot of flexibility, though? I mean, remember all the hype around Metal Gear Solid 4, and then you discovered that, like, you could basically low crawl through any level?
Well, no, like, because I played Ground Zeroes, and it had a lot of different ways you could approach, like, certain things. I mean, if you wanted, you could, steal a Hummer, or you could take down a helicopter with a bazooka. I mean, there was a lot of fun ways you could approach things, but when I look at it and they're like, it's going to be as big as Skyrim, I'm just like, fuck, no. Like, I don't want that.
How about the Skylanders Superchargers?
I didn't see this.
Oh, yeah. It's I caught a quick video on it. Skylanders with vehicles, racing style or something. I don't know. I know the Wii U will have some exclusive Donkey Kong and Bowser figures that go with it, and it looks like there's some like vehicle type stuff you can do in it as well. For me, it's a win. I just like anything Skylanders.
Yeah,
I can't help it. There's something wrong with me.
Forget Black Ops, but Skylanders, I'm on that shit.
Yeah. There's something wrong with me, and that's pretty much I think all the like the multi-platform type stuff.
Sure.
And I think all that's multi-platform. And then what system do we want to talk about next?
Let's do Sony.
You ready for the PS4?
I am. Because I feel like it's going to be too easy to do.
They opened up with the title I've been my most anticipated Sony title for the last nearly decade, The Last Guardian, and they showed that footage. And I mean, as soon as I saw it, the kid yells, and he yells in his funky little foreign language, and he starts running, and you're like, well, this is very reminiscent of Eco.
Oh yeah, big time.
And then as soon as you heard the noise before even the dog, I said, oh. It's Last Guardian.
Right.
They've finally done something.
And again, it's so weird because it's been so long in the...
Yeah. But, it looks amazing. It looks like it's going to focus a lot on puzzle solving. Mm-hmm. And I like that. I like that sort of thing. I think it's fun. I'm not so much into your typical, everything doesn't have to be about shooting for me or, whatever. So something like this where it's me and my pet, whatever this thing is, in this environment, this beautiful environment, just exploring and solving puzzles and moving from point A to point B, that keeps me interested.
Right on.
Yeah, I'm all about it. And then they showed Horizon Zero Dawn.
Horizon Zero. No, that's a new franchise, isn't it? Mm-hmm. I think I only saw that.
Well,
briefly.
It's new in the way that it's something we haven't heard of. It's old in the way that it's basically Turok, from what I could tell.
No, that's interesting. There's what is it? Oh, it's like Arc Evolution Evolved or some new game that was on Steam recently that I wanted to. It was like an early access game, but it had like the ability to tame dinosaurs. And I was like, I can be Chris Pratt.
Yeah, I'm watching it, and I mean, it looks amazing. It looks fun. It looks cool. I'll probably play it because it's definitely a unique title in terms of just like the style in which everything's done.
Right.
But it's basically Turok, except with like machine type element, like creatures coming at you. The girl is like kind of primitive, and she's firing a bow and arrow,
Right.
And this giant creature comes at her, but it's kind of a techno creature, Like
it's really
see where
into
it's different. Yeah, well, it takes I think place in a late Earth where humanity's gone, and
right.
machines have killed humans, and now it's just kind of this almost savage environment where machines and people are fighting.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so it's like a techno caveman type thing.
Right on.
You know, so I don't know. It looks pretty good. Street Fighter V exclusive to the PS4.
That's got to be a win for them.
Yeah, that's pretty interesting, right?
Yeah. I've never played a bad Street Fighter. I am consistently annoyed with how many different versions of Street Fighter will inevitably come out. I still love the game.
My advice to everyone is wait for Ultra Mega Street Fighter V Championship Edition, and then you'll get all the characters that they're going to release for DLC later on.
Yep.
And but I mean, what a move for Sony.
Oh, big time.
I mean, that's a pretty good franchise to have.
Yeah, exclusivity is still a really big deal.
Yeah. No Man's Sky.
No Man's Sky is very exciting to me.
To me, this is the reason to own a PS4.
Is that the video you showed earlier?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, that game looks sweet.
I mean, there is no word to describe how big this game is compared to other games.
And that's the thing, like, I like No Man's Sky conceptually for this reason. As I've gotten, when I was younger, give me a 90-hour game, fine. Now that I'm older and there's more of a premium demand on my time, I don't want a 60 to 80-hour game. Give me a game that's either infinite or about 8 hours, and marry the two shall meet.
Here you get infinite.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right, and here you have this kind of infinite galaxy. And the fact that it's social enough that you could find your friends, maybe. If you're lucky.
That's
very interesting.
Yeah, I saw a video where he was saying if you had enough fuel,
right,
and you knew where your friend was on the map, you could potentially meet up. But the odds of you having the resources to get to your friend are slim.
Right.
You know, and that really intrigued me. I think what I'm going to do is just planet hop.
Yeah, why not?
I don't think I'm going to worry too much about a story for a long time. I'm just going to go from planet to planet so I can see how the environments vary, how the creatures vary.
Yeah, it almost feels like the Star Trek game. Correct me if I'm wrong, but that feels very Star Trek to me. Like if you just played the game in that fashion.
They could have built this game with a Star Trek license and made something totally amazing.
That would have been spectacular.
Yeah.
Big time.
That would have been great.
Yeah.
But I think this is the game. And I said earlier I don't like online games, blah, blah, blah.
Right.
I feel like this is going to give me a real solo experience.
Oh, yeah,
but
sure.
This environment, I mean, I just can't not be part of it.
No Man's Sky, I realized was going to be a really big deal, or at least within like my family, because my dad hit me up, and he doesn't have a PS4. He has an Xbox One. He's super happy with it. Has no desire to get a PS4 at all until he read about No Man's Sky, like on a Wired article, and then he was like, "So you gonna get No Man's Sky? Someone come and check it out. Like maybe I'll get a PS4 so I can play No Man's Sky." I was like, "Wow, this is something special."
I think it's going to be incredible. And I mean, I was talking to someone today actually at the store, and I said to think of how big this game is. Skyrim is to No Man's Sky what Pac-Man is to Skyrim. You know what I mean?
Oh, right. Yeah.
I mean, it's
the scale.
It's mind-bogglingly big. I just you know. And anything like that to me is just, I mean, $60? Yeah,
oh, yeah.
Please take my money, please.
The only thing that would make the experience better for me would be a game that massive in scope and scale and that immersive as I would love it to have Morpheus support if that comes out soon.
Well, yeah, you know, I mean, it makes sense that
especially for the way you want to play it in like an exploratory sort of mode.
Yeah,
you're only going to be taking in the sights for the most part. Like, what better way to do that than with? But I assume we'll get to that though.
yeah, we'll definitely be talking about that.
Right.
So moving on. Oh yeah, Dreams. Anyone see anything on that?
Dream. Now that's the game where you kind of create the things that you see in your own dreams, and then you share those out in kind of a cloud-based community with everybody else.
Like you're like a puppeteer. You can make these characters. You can make them do whatever you want. You can. Yeah.
See, I would only want to explore people's nightmares, though. Like, I mean, dreams are cool. Like, oh wow, another cotton candy monster. That's adorable. But just send me to some place like Silent Hill, and I'm set.
I think I want it just so I can make the most freakish and horrific, awful things I can possibly imagine. And let other people see them. So, you know, they'll just be like, how messed up are you, dude? What's wrong with you?
That does sound like you.
I have absolutely no interest in the game at all. It seems worthless. It seems pointless. But then I guess many people say that about Minecraft.
Games like Minecraft, Little Big Planet, this one, are just depressing to me because I see how beautiful they are and I see the amazing things you can do if you have a creative mind and you're able to put the time into it. And I know that I won't have the time to put into it, and that will just make me sad. Like I made a castle. That's
stop vlogging every day, and you might have some.
I will not. I'm not going to get beaten by Ben McBride.
Yeah, in another 70 days you'll be able to.
In another 70 days. I think it is another 70 days. I'll probably just keep doing it. It's been fun.
Oh dear. Did anyone see Firewatch? Has anyone seen that?
I saw it briefly, and I thought Firewatch because that was like. I remember the graphics almost looking like what's that game I played recently with Kyle on Game Gab? It was the Long Dark, where it almost looked cartoony, but then also realistic at the same time. Not cell shaded,
right?
But not realistic. Somewhere in between,
kind of like a Time Splitters type look. Yeah,
right. And is that some kind of like survivalist kind of?
Seems
game?
like it. The dude has the girl on the radio. She's kind of leading him from place to place.
Right.
The trailer ends with her saying, he's like, "Oh, someone's cut the communication wire," and she goes, "You mean you're there?" And he says, "Yeah." She says, "But who's in your tower?" And he looks over and you see his watchtower. Because so
that just gave me tingles. Man. That's creepy.
And I'm like, at first I was like, nah. And then by the end of the trailer, I was like, ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah, that looks cool.
Oh, yeah, I didn't see that part. Because I almost wonder if it's going to be some kind of a supernatural kind of Alan Wake type
deal.
Yeah,
I have no idea who your enemy is or what type of things you face in it, but it looks pretty cool.
Sure.
Okay. Final Fantasy VII Remake.
Finally. Is there anything else you can say? Because I remember being at E3 2005 and them being like, oh, we're just showing off the capabilities, troll face, of the PlayStation 3. And everyone went nuts, and then everybody was just super sad for 10 years. And now every Final Fantasy VII nerd is just going to be freaking out.
And now every Final Fantasy VII nerd is clamoring for more information, and they can't wait for it, and it's going to be the best game ever made. And then it's going to come out. And they're going to see that there were some artistic licenses taken with it, or maybe a change to the plot, where some character won't die, or something, and they're going to F and hate it.
Yep.
And it's going to be all they talk about how bad a job they did. And you know what? I hate the purist fanboys. And it's funny I say that.
You hate the purist fanboys.
Because I'm very much like that in some ways, but to see, I just don't think they should have done it. And you know what? I'll probably try it. I'll probably play it. And I didn't like Final Fantasy VII. I'm one of the 5 people in the world who...
See, I love the movie Advent Children. Not necessarily because of the story. The story I could have cared less about, really. It was just so beautiful. And to see these characters that have been held in such high regard and reverence, even, for so many years, kind of, get their own movie, I was like, that's very cool. And then seeing that interpretation where they're not, block characers anymore, and they become fully realized humans.
It was a sequel, and people can accept that. You know what I mean?
Right.
Even what was the one, the third-person shooter that was... Dirge of Cerberus?
Yeah.
And everyone ripped on that. They hated that too. But I thought it was cool. It's a sequel, fine. And it wasn't turn-based. Hey, excellent.
Right.
But, I don't know. I'm going to try this one to see what I think of it,
sure.
But I just don't know if I want to get into it. How about World of Final Fantasy? Did you see that?
World of Final Fantasy. Now that's the one for handhelds, isn't it? That's on the Vita, I think.
All the little cutesy
and they're
characters.
little cutesy.
Yeah,
I'm okay with it because I feel like it's just kind of a throwback to the series' roots, I guess.
It seems to me like Final Fantasy for 7-year-old girls.
Right, which is fine. That's cool.
Yeah, I don't know if I thought much of that at all. Destiny, the Taken King, is that what it was?
Don't care.
Yeah.
I want to. My dad loves
any interest
Destiny.
in Destiny?
No.
None? They did show a whole slew of Devolver games.
Are those all the indie titles we were looking at?
Yeah, well, that for the PS4. It was the PS4 equivalent. And, Mother Russia Bleeds, Crossing Souls, Ronin, Eater, I think the one is pronounced. Nothing dropped my jaw as far as that went. But what really got me going was the Shenmue 3 Kickstarter.
Yeah, that's crazy for a few reasons. One, it's just again another revered series that people have been waiting for a sequel for a very long time. But two, the whole fact that Kickstarter was basically just pitched to the whole world as a very viable thing. Not that it hadn't already proven its worth, but to see kind of these major players in industry kind of embrace it and be like, well, we're not throwing money at it, but you can. You want it, you pay for it.
Well, what I love is all this stuff that's getting funded that these big developers just didn't think would get funded. You know? Mighty Number 9, Bloodstained, now Shenmue. Shenmue got got funded in like 9 hours.
Yeah, now you actually have numbers on that. Like, how much did they make?
So today, just for fun, at about 1 o'clock, I looked at the total on the Kickstarter. It was at $3,021,850. Okay, and I was like, "Wow, mind blown! I can't wait. I'm definitely putting in on this one myself, and I'm considering. And God knows, after as much as I spent, I got the Play a Hater on Bloodstained.
Yeah,
it was $1,000 backer.
Yeah. Serious?
Yeah.
Oh my, dude, that's insane.
Yeah, and right behind, I'm like, oh well, what's the big deal? You know, I'm not going to get anything else.
Right.
And then right behind that, the Shenmue comes out, which I'm going to back. And I'm probably going, there's a $300 one that's amazing. Mm-hmm. So I'm kicking myself now. But, yeah, $3,021,850 at 1. And then at 4:30, I was getting ready to leave the store. I looked again. It was at $3,050,315. That's a difference of $28,465. In 3.5 hours.
Oh my God. And there's still 30 days
What's
left.
the most money you ever made in 3.5 hours? Right. Anyone?
I feel like
anyone?
I feel like
$200?
Bill Gates looks at these numbers. He's like, yeah, it's okay, I guess.
Yeah. But I mean, if that's any idea of how quickly people are putting in on this game, and if that's even fairly consistent, they're going to break. Bloodstained has the record at 5.5 whatever million, and they're going to top it. I think it's really possible that they're going to top it, which I'm all for. It's funny because we just talked about Kickstarters on... Which podcast was that, Sleazy? We talked about Kickstarter.
The last one.
That was the last one.
Yeah, the last one.
And I said, why don't they do a Kickstarter for Shenmue 3? And sure enough...
That's awesome.
Not a couple of weeks later, I'm watching and I'm just like, yes!
Say something else, Buzz.
By the way, that whole announcement broke our Twitter. Like, my phone just kept going off and off. And I was just like, oh my God.
Awesome stuff. Uncharted 4.
Here's my thing. I'm way behind on Uncharted. And I mean that because I played the first one a little bit, and I really liked it, and then I just got kind of shoved to the backlog, and I never finished it. And then the one came out for Vita, and I beat it, which is a prequel to the first one. So technically I'm playing them in series, I just have a lot of catching up to do.
I think it's brilliant how Tomb Raider inspired Uncharted. Mm-hmm. And then down the road we saw the new Tomb Raider game come out, obviously inspired by Uncharted.
Right.
You know? One inspires the other that re-inspires the next.
Right.
And I think it's great things because we also know the new Tomb Raider's coming out. It's going to be amazing. Mm-hmm. And now we've got exclusive Uncharted on PS4 and exclusive Tomb Raider on Xbox One. And I think it was really Microsoft's most brilliant move because here they knew there was a proven, successful, and awesome franchise on the PlayStation consoles, and they said, what can we do to top that?
Right.
Well, let's take a more proven franchise that's got a gameplay engine similar that, you know, and now they're going head to head.
Now, I think it's a great move, but I will disagree with you and say it's the most brilliant move of Microsoft at E3 because I have a completely different theory on this, which we can get to in a minute.
We'll get to it. We'll do, as a matter of fact, I'll put that next.
Great.
And on that note, let's talk about Morpheus.
Morpheus. It can't come soon enough. You know what? It doesn't even have to be Morpheus. I'm not so like focused on Morpheus in particular. Mm-hmm. Morpheus, Oculus, HoloLens. I don't care. Give me one. Just put it to market.
Given a choice between the three, what would you choose?
If I could only have one, I would probably go Oculus. And the only reason I say that is because I think it's been in development longest, and you know, while it won't have the kind of console compatibility you're going to see with Morpheus. The fact that Microsoft's kind of throwing their weight behind it too, in addition to their own HoloLens, I think speaks to its abilities. And also, just because I've been gravitating more towards Steam games lately, I think that, you know, a lot more content will get released for it on PC.
I see. I go HoloLens over the Oculus.
Really?
I just think it's in terms of my everyday life, what I could use it for. It just seems unparalleled.
Yeah.
You know? But it's a different kind of thing. Oculus and Morpheus are very comparable. Right. You know? Whereas HoloLens is a kind of a different animal.
It is a little bit of it. Because it's not as wholly immersive, I don't think, as Morpheus or Oculus.
Well, and you don't necessarily have to use it for one thing specifically.
Right.
You know?
Dude, throwing TVs on my wall, virtual TVs that I could make 100, you know, that's insane.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, there's nothing like that, and I think that's what makes it special.
Right.
But between the Oculus and the Morpheus, I'm with you. I think the Oculus is you know, a better and more researched and a more developed. There's more R&D going into it.
To buying a developer version, even though I knew it would be buggy and awful and a limited amount of experience, just because I want to experience that so badly.
Okay, so moving off of Sony and on to Microsoft.
The big M.
Yeah. Well, let's start with that. Let's start with the Oculus Rift pairing.
Here's my thing. Let's take a step back in time about 18, I want to say 18
and
months.
And I assume this is what you're talking about?
Yes, this is my big thing. This is what I think was the most brilliant thing Microsoft could have possibly done. And it's one of those things that at the time seemed completely ludicrous, and seeing it now, it just clicked, and I was like, brilliantly played, Microsoft. And I don't say that often about Microsoft, because I've lived through things like the Zune, Windows Vista. There's a lot bad I could say about the Big M. But they do a lot right, too, and this is a great example. But I want to say 2.5 years ago, maybe a little bit longer, Microsoft buys Mojang, and in turn acquires Minecraft as its own for something like, I think, $2 billion.
I thought it was 4.
It might have been 4. Yeah. Whatever it was with a B. I know that. Which is enough for me.
Too many billions.
Yeah, and at the time, everyone was just kind of like, okay, Microsoft, you've been making so many horrible decisions, why not throw this on top of it? And people just kind of shrugged their shoulders and went on. But the brilliance of that move now manifesting with HoloLens, to me, is just mind-blowingly brilliant. Because they took an install base of the best-selling game of all time with Minecraft, and this install base of millions of fans, and then they made one destination to get this new Minecraft experience. Yep. Which is just because everybody from like 8-year-olds to 40-year-olds are going to be like, I have to go out and get a HoloLens because I have to immerse myself in Minecraft.
You know, I've shown the video, the E3 video, where it comes up out of the table.
Yes.
And I showed it to a couple of friends at work, customers, people come to the store, and to watch their eyes pop. People have never heard of HoloLens. Mm-hmm. And to watch their eyes pop. And to see them finally comprehending exactly what they're seeing. Well, it can't make that on there. And I say to them, no. It's not there. It's only for him. He's the only... Like, if you're sitting there watching and you don't have your HoloLens on, all you see is a dude looking at the table.
Right.
This is an amazing experience. And then when it hits them and when they understand and the gravity of it,
right.
They go, holy crap.
Oh, yeah.
This is something truly amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, you could literally have an empty room with a couch and walk in, put on your HoloLens, and have a full-on experience.
Congratulations, you have a holodeck.
Right.
Enjoy it.
You could watch porn, and no one would ever know you're watching.
They'd never know.
Yeah, I'm looking more forward to porn with the Oculus Rift.
I love that we.
I want to go around and catch all the angle, look under. I want to see what's going on.
I love that we made the leap from like the most joyous video game experience for children right now to porn in like 2 seconds. Just like, I like beautiful trees.
You said people of all ages.
Yes, fair enough.
Yeah, I think it was a great move, and honestly, I think all that is what put Microsoft on top for the E3 experience.
Oh yeah, I put them on top.
Yeah.
Even without talking about Nintendo yet, I will say that.
For 3 years running, I gave it to Nintendo. Nintendo had great showings the last 3 years, but Microsoft, man, they did out on this one.
Plus, Nintendo's got Reggie.
Yeah,
I love Reggie.
Reggie's great. So what else did Microsoft had? We had the backwards compatibility announcement. It's pretty cool. I mean, it's a step in the right direction. It's the console, if you recall. When I was bitching and moaning about the Xbox One launch announcement back in March of whatever, May of whatever, I said all they had to do was announce a console that was free, play your games on it just like the 360, no locks, no DRM, no always on stuff, and backwards compatibility, and a good online service. And basically what they're going to have here in the next few months is the console I said they should have had at launch, and I think a lot of people like me were saying the exact same thing, So maybe it's a sign that Microsoft is getting the idea. This is what gamers want,
right.
And I think that's a great move. And hopefully it'll inspire Sony to do the same thing.
But maybe. Their dream is still digital media.
It's all their dreams.
It's all their dreams.
Yeah, but this shows that the market is pretty strong and is showing them that we lean towards a physical media and that we lean towards things like backwards compatibility and using our old games. And I think that's a plus.
Here's my thing. Backward compatibility, it's one of those things I don't mind having it, but it's not a deal breaker for me. Sure. I really appreciate that Nintendo seems to be awesome with backward compatibility. Like, every time they come out with a new handheld, it tends to play the games of the system before, which I think is a very cool thing, because it kind of bridges the gap as you move from one platform to the next.
The Wii and the Wii
like
U
the
also.
Wii and the Wii U also, another great example. But as far as Microsoft doing backward compatibility, I feel like I got kind of shafted on the 360 backward compatibility with Xbox. They were like, we got backward compatibility! Kind of, asterisk legally is underneath.
Yeah,
mostly.
Yeah. But you know what? It was better than nothing, because here's Sony saying, we have backwards compatibility, we'd never take that away, and then they just stripped it out of the console entirely.
I don't know. For me, that generation is basically dead to me.
Correction, with the ability to play PS1 games, which made no sense.
No, it didn't. But like the 360 PS3 generation is basically dead to me, and that I say that because they're not old enough to hit retro status and conjure up the nostalgia that would suck me back into it, and they don't look as good as the new stuff coming out. So I'm just like, I can wait. Yeah. Except that I will say that the new that sit down arcade machine we made, playing Street Fighter on that is awesome. That system or that housing breathed new life into the 360 for me. And I actually did start popping in some older games.
Right. So backwards compat. Then we had Halo 5. Looks good.
Yeah. Halo 5 is a staple for me. I will pick it up day one, and I will enjoy it very much.
Yeah, looks real good. What do you think?
I haven't seen anything about it.
No, you haven't? Oh, man.
I'm telling you, I'm soaking all this up like a sponge.
I would have thrown the video up.
The only thing I've seen is the teaser trailers that they had earlier in the year. And I haven't seen anything else.
You'll be happy. It looks good.
All I know is that Nathan Fillion's doing voice work for it. Is that the same character from...
I don't know if he did... I can't remember if he did a particular character or if he was... I think in the early games he was just like a generic
He was the main guy from ODST.
Oh, then I would say he's probably that same guy.
Yeah.
So they're just really going to mess with
people. I don't even remember what happens in ODST. It's been so long.
You
need to go back and...
Yeah, well, I just got the campaign on Xbox One, so...
Do you have the Master Chief Collection?
I do.
Oh, yeah.
I do have the Master Chief Collection.
Okay.
But I am stoked for that.
We know Halo 5 will be good, and I don't think there's any, arguing that.
Hopefully it won't be the nightmare that the Master Chief Collection is right now, so... The multiplayer is just it's so bad. Yeah, almost.
What? I only play the story mode, so I don't care.
You go in and it searches forever to find a party, and then as soon as you're done with the match, it kicks you back out, and then you got to pick the game you want to be in. But I mean, keep in mind there's 6 different things of multiplayer there. You got your Halo 1, 2, 3, then 4. And then on top of that, you've got all the modes that they have to support and all that. Yeah. And it's just a hot mess. It's too much for them. Okay. Yeah, I think whoever runs that, I forget his name, but he said it was a black eye for 343 Studios. And it most certainly is.
Well, hopefully, you know what? I think 5 with the number of people that are going to be playing.
I think part of the problem is
the amount of work going into it. There's going to be no.
I think part of the problem is there's probably a good amount of people working on 5 and a little amount of people working on.
Yeah. Well, 5 is the focus.
You got your home run hitters working on 5 right now.
So I don't think you're going to run into the problems with 5 that you're having.
Hopefully not.
Yeah. How about that Gears 4?
It looks freaking amazing.
I like the Gears series. I just never finished 3, so I can't really speak to 4. It's like I can't get excited about it because I haven't beaten 3. I beat 1 and 2, and then I completely ignored one entry in the series. Which one was it?
Judgment?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I ignored that.
I've liked them all, so...
Yeah.
Co-op is great.
Just from what I'm seeing, wow. What a beautiful environment. You know what I mean? I look at the little things. I'm not watching the characters when they're stalking through this, it almost looked like a castle.
Yeah.
While they're stalking around and stuff, I'm watching the wind blow the trees in the background and the clouds roll in.
Everything looked really
debris
real.
and leaves flying through the air and the wind stiffening up. And, that's what I'm paying attention to. I'm looking at all this stuff around the characters, the world they're in. And it's beautiful. It's unlike, even last-gen games, they were detailed on that line, but not like this.
Right.
I see things happening here that...
Although, that is how... What was it? That's how... Cliffy B single-handedly cost Microsoft $1 billion. Did you ever read that story?
Which one?
So, originally when Gears of War was first being made exclusively for the Xbox, Cliffy went to a meeting with Microsoft and basically held up 2 screenshots on 2 giant poster boards. One was what the system would have looked like with 256 gigs of RAM, I think, and the other was what it would have looked like with 512. And it was demonstrably better. And I guess Cliffy felt kind of sick to his stomach because a little bit later he had a call from a lady at Microsoft and was like, hey, I just want to let you know after that meeting you went into, you just cost Microsoft $1 billion. Because that's when they decided to double the RAM in the system. So Cliffy was like, this game has to be good.
How about that Forza 6?
Here's my thing with Forza. As soon as a new system comes out, Forza is one of those games that I buy to be like, look how pretty my new system is. Look at the detail. And then I just never touch it again.
I'm not interested in it.
Yeah.
I just...
Forza 5 is the first racing sim I've ever really liked.
I appreciate it for...
I'm wondering if 6 maybe will pull me in, you know? The level of customization and paint and, all the stuff you can do to your vehicles, I think it's just pretty amazing.
Right.
And it looks like they're doing more environmental, stuff with this game. It looks like we're seeing lots of rain and all that.
The other thing that bugs me about those cars, when they use licensed cars, they never bash them up too bad. Because it's like, we don't want our brand to look bad. Well, I'm sorry, that's what happens in a car accident.
At 500 miles per hour.
Right.
When it's
Commit,
it's pretty
jerks.
funny, yeah. How about, did you guys see the Gears of War Ultimate Remastered deal?
Yeah.
I didn't see that, but I got somebody on Facebook sent me the link to go get the beta, and I did, and I downloaded it. I just haven't.
I saw someone said, well, 1080p, 60 frames per second, that's what it should have been originally.
Oh, jeez.
And I said, you know what? It wasn't. Shut up.
Right.
Like, this looks beautiful. It looks amazing.
Well, if it was this way...
And you know what? That person that said that will still buy the game.
Yeah.
It's the same people that are like, I'm not going to see Fantastic Four. Bullshit. No. Yes, you will.
I don't even want to see it, and I know I'm going to go see it.
Yeah, you want to see Johnny Storm.
Yeah.
Good.
Gigantic.
I'm not familiar. I think I missed that one.
Yeah. It looks cell-shaded. It's pretty, I guess. I don't know.
Love cell-shading.
I need to see more of it before I can even speak on it.
Well, if it's anything like Jet Set Radio Future, I'm in.
I don't think it's going to be anything like that.
It's probably not.
Sea of Thieves. Did you see Sea of Thieves?
No.
It's a new Rare game. Piratey.
No, that's something. But you don't see a lot of pirate games.
Now here, what I get from the trailer is it looks like MMO-ish. It looks like you can bring in a group of people and you can be on your ship and sailing the seas and get into a battle with another ship.
That sounds cool.
Seems, if that's what I'm seeing, if that's what the game is, that's a kind of interesting thing.
That's ambitious.
So, yeah, but then part of it also looks like there was a little bit of a solo story-ish mode type going on. So I don't know what the game's going to give us. But just to see Rare doing something, a big new IP, that's pretty cool. So I like that. What else we got? Fable Legends. Anyone care?
I like the Fable games. I don't know. I'm not sure how I feel about Fable Legends.
I don't need it.
I feel like, who is it? Peter Molyneux, is he the one who's always like pushing?
Yeah.
And he's always like, it's going to be the most amazing game ever. And then you're just like, it's just a dog. It's not that great. Chill out.
I knew it was going to die the second the game started.
You're not redefining the art form.
For me, Fable's always been a solo experience. So, I'm the hero. Mm-hmm. Not those other three people. Who the fuck are they to be in my game trying to be heroes? I'm the hero. I don't want a multiplayer experience out of Fable, and I probably honestly won't play it.
See, I will. I do have to say one thing about Fable, a horrible story I'll tell you. Because this thing, I usually play, if I play Fable, I play it on the up and up. I try to be a very good character all the time.
Yeah.
But it was either Fable 1 or Fable 2, because you could get married, and what I did was, I married, the town seamstress or something like that. And she kept basically just bitching at me saying, you have to stop raising the rent on everybody. Because I kept it real low and then I made everyone love me and then I raised it through the roof and I just basically taxed my kingdom into oblivion and made them all very sour. And one day it just got to me too much. I come home after a long day of questing and she said something stupid to me like, you need to lower the rent. And I dragged her out in the middle of the town square in front of this, like the town crier dude, and I killed her in front of everybody. And it was one of my favorite moments in the game because just that I could do that was amazing. I was not a loved ruler.
That's the kind of thing you can't do in Legends, as far as I can see. It's like, if you're the bad guy, you are kind of like an overhead figure, I think, and you direct the enemies towards the heroes.
Right.
And you can, I guess, kind of maybe do that on a solo type level, but I always played as a hero as well. I always played good, and that's the role I want to take. I don't want to have teammates. And I don't want to have to play against another person. Right. I want to play a story mode. I want a campaign. And it's kind of sad to me that that's not going to be offered to me for that. So I might just wait and see if they just do another regular Fable title.
Yeah. That's probably what I would be into.
Yeah.
I don't need some teammate questioning my ethical decisions.
Yeah.
Maybe you should raise the rent so high.
Maybe you should raise the rent.
Exactly.
See, Microsoft showed a slew of indie games. Ashen Beyond Eyes was kind of interesting. You're a blind girl, and you kind of discover your environment by getting up close to it.
Which, does that kind of remind me of, what was that game for PS4? The Undiscovered Swan? No. Something about a swan, but you basically just throw paintballs at a completely white environment. And then as you threw paint, it would gradually reveal 3D structures. But other than that, the game was entirely an endless expanse.
I never played that. That sounds cool.
It's very similar. I think if you like that, then you're probably going to dig... God, I gotta look that up. It's gonna drive me nuts.
Cuphead, while you're looking that up.
Yes. Of all the things that I saw after you showed me that clip of all the indie titles, Cuphead is easily the one I'm most looking forward to.
Who thinks of that? I mean, that's a great idea, and that no one's come up with it yet. A 1930s style. Although I would liken Limbo to that.
Yeah.
Because Limbo had that monochrome. It looked like it took place on a movie screen theater in the 30s with the vintage edges and all that.
Right.
Yeah, had that feel.
Yeah, no, it was the unfinished one. I think you would like that very much.
I will check that out. Let's see, The Long Dark. You mentioned that.
The Long Dark? Was that part of their...
Isn't that the one you were talking about that had the...
I played it on Steam, but I didn't know that was coming to the Xbox.
Oh, yeah.
Is it?
That's coming to the Xbox.
Oh, awesome. Yeah. Kyle and I played that. I think it was like an alpha or an early access title on Steam, but we played it and it's really fun. Yeah. I mean, we just kind of ran around out in this cold wilderness. You don't really have a frame of reference for why the world is steeped in this kind of what they call it like a geothermal disaster that caused it. Mm-hmm. So I assume it's very kind of like the day after tomorrow kind of type deal. Mm-hmm. But like we were running around and then we got attacked by wolves, and it's weird because like the wolves attack you and you might fight them off or they might kill you. Like you basically at the last thing you just kind of like shake them off and then like blind them or stab them and then like try to run away. But it was a pretty harrowing experience. Yeah. I dug it.
And along that line, DayZ is coming out.
DayZ, I've heard. I still have yet to play it, but I've heard a lot of excitement. I've watched people play it on Twitch, and it looks like fun. But I mean, I'm glad
people seem pretty excited about it, so that's cool. Tacoma.
Which one was that?
Tacoma is the same people who did your Going Home.
Oh, Gone Home. Yeah.
Gone Home. Sorry.
Yes.
And that we had talked about that game way back in one of the NerdKO videos. Actually, if you recall,
really?
You talked about that game.
I have to get back
as one of the creepy games.
I like creepy games.
Yeah, and this looks like that, except it takes place on a space station. So you maybe in 0G. I remember in one scene of the trailer, you're going through a hallway and there's like paper floating, and
See, I like that because I like horror in space is one of my favorites. Like I loved Event Horizon, I loved Alien, I loved the Dead Space series. Mm-hmm. I'm trying to think about other horror experiences in space. But
did you play Alien Isolation?
Yes. Yeah. I have, again, another one I haven't beat, but I played
I'm midway through
about
that
8 or 10 hours into it.
Yeah, so I think that one looks to me like one of the better indie titles coming out. Yeah. What else? Rise of the Tomb Raider, exclusive Xbox One.
I'm okay with this.
And we talked about it with the whole Uncharted thing. What a like a head-to-head, Yeah. And I'm going to play them. I'm going to compare them. Yeah. I might even make that the focus of one of my videos. Just Tomb Raider versus Uncharted, because Uncharted looked amazing.
Right.
So I'm really excited about that. What I was sad to see was no word of Quantum Break.
Yeah, what happened to that game?
It's still there. They're going to show it. They said they'll show it later this year. But, no Crackdown. Where was Crackdown?
Were they doing a new Crackdown?
Yeah.
That would have been... Because the first Crackdown came out of nowhere, and I was like, this is an amazingly fun game.
And, I mean, with the new power, the new systems, what they do has got to be amazing.
Right. Someone will just look at the game and be like, how can we roid out the GTA experience?
right.
Go.
So, I was sad about that, but they did do the Elite Controller.
That thing's a beast, and I think it's really going to piss off some third-party manufacturers.
The Razer folks are going to be so upset.
Oh, yeah.
So upset. Now, here's what I didn't get, and I didn't see, and they didn't show it. There is a sync button on it, so obviously it's a wireless controller. Mm-hmm. Will that work with... Like, it says Wired? It works with Windows 10.
Yeah.
So how do you sync it to your...
I think they sell wireless dongles, like they did for the 360 controllers, I think. Although, now that I think
does it connect Bluetooth?
No, it's probably not going to use Bluetooth.
Huh.
Although that would be hugely
So I wondered how they were going to do that. And can I use it with the Oculus Rift?
Oh,
yes.
I would say yes.
So
absolutely.
that's the controller to have when you play your Oculus Rift. That is phenomenal.
To me, like, I admire the controller for what it is. I don't think I need that kind of power because I'm not a pro gamer, but to me it sends a very clear message that Microsoft is the only one of the big three that's really taking pro gaming seriously.
That's true.
And I think that is, I mean, some people think it's goofy to call it an e-sport, but that's truly what it is, and you're only going to see that continue to rise in popularity. And if you don't believe that, then you haven't been watching the news, because with YouTube now launching YouTube Gaming in the coming weeks as a direct competitor to Twitch, online streaming is only going to increase. Professional gaming is only going to increase in popularity, and it's like Microsoft, to quote Kevin Smith, who quotes Wayne Gretzky, is skating to where the puck's going to be, not where it is. And so, in that way, I thought that was a very innovative move on Microsoft's part.
Yeah. I think it's just a beautiful piece of equipment.
Right.
I love the switching the analog sticks around. The only thing that could have made it better would be to take the D-pad and move it to where the analog stick is. If they did that kind of customization, it'd be the only way to improve upon what they've done.
Sure.
But as it sits, I'm getting one.
That's like I can say, like, I don't need that shit, Muzz, but I know I'll buy one.
Look, I'm not a pro gamer.
Right.
By any stretch. I'm not even a competitive gamer. I don't like to play online. But for me personally, I want that controller because I feel like the Xbox One is already, at least in my opinion, the best controller on the market.
Right.
They've improved upon the best controller on the market. And I want that experience. I want my experience to be that good.
It's so funny hearing you say that because I now see the hypocrisy in my own statement because I'm like, I don't need that. I'm not a pro gamer or whatever. But I'm the same guy who, like 6 weeks ago, bought a Razer Ouroboros and a Black Widow Chroma keyboard. Ridiculously expensive pieces of hardware. Like, I'm not a pro gamer, but I like quality hardware. And now I'm sitting here like, I don't need it. But I'm going to get it. But I'm going to get it. That's what happened.
And moving on to Nintendo. I love Nintendo.
See, it's bad when you start with like, hey, I love them, guys.
No, you know
I do.
What? I'm going to start off with that because I hear a lot of people saying, oh, Nintendo blew it this year, they lost this year, blah, 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 blah. Now, I will say, Nintendo didn't have as good a showing as Microsoft. I mean, Microsoft had too many big announcements. They were neck and neck with Sony, I think. What I love about Nintendo is, because I love their IPs, man.
Well, of course you love their everyone loves Nintendo's IPs.
And what really does it for me are games like Star Fox Zero, which is the first one I'm going to mention.
That I am excited about.
I mean, how can you not be excited about games like that? And we're talking about franchises that, they're older than anything Sony's doing. They're older than anything Microsoft's doing, but they keep interest in them. They keep providing innovation for their titles.
Yeah.
I mean, they give us a great gaming experience every time. I have more respect for Nintendo,
I think Nintendo tries very hard to innovate, and they knocked it out of the park with the original Wii, but at the same time, like, sometimes their innovation does come off as gimmicky to me. And it's weird because usually I'm excited about, like the whole 3D camera thing on the 3DS. At first I was like, oh, this is amazing, and now it's just kind of like, that's okay. I would never have practical use to use 3D camera in such a small, crappy resolution, but it was neat for the 2 seconds that I tried it.
That was just an add-on because it was already 3D, so here's a 3D camera. But the games for the 3DS,
by and large,
I never play mine in 3D. I slide that slider all the way down, and I play my games in 2D, but they're amazing games.
Right. And that's the thing that I love about Nintendo. It has been true about Nintendo for as long as I can remember, except in probably a few very small instances. The Nintendo name is synonymous with quality. Yeah. It always has been, and I hope that it always will be.
And people will argue that, and I'm going to say it right now, because I know the argument is, no, there was so much shit on the Wii. And yeah, there was a lot of shovelware on the Wii. There was. But not a single...
Not a Nintendo
Nintendo title was crap. Right. Okay, sure, fine. The seal of quality, the Nintendo, that didn't mean as much for the Wii, or so it would seem. But if you dig through all that shovelware, you will find some of the best gaming experience of the last generation. Skyward Sword, Mad World, The Conduit, No More Heroes, the entire definitive 1 through 4 Resident Evil collection, including the Umbrella and Darkside Chronicles.
Right.
I mean, there was a lot of boom blocks.
I love boom blocks.
Yeah, Elebits was, to me, as addictive as Katamari.
Elebits, but I did like Katamari.
It's an amazing game. And a lot of these games just got overlooked because there's so much garbage on the Wii.
Sure.
But that's not Nintendo's fault. Everyone complained about the GameCube because Nintendo didn't let third-party developers jump on and make any crap they wanted. So Nintendo does it with the Wii, and what happens? They complain about that too.
Right.
So you know what? They can complain all they want. But the Wii was innovative, and it brought forth something in gaming. I mean, the Kinect, the Move, the PlayStation 4 camera. None of this stuff would be happening the way it is if not for...
That's true, but I feel like all those other people tried to play catch-up, and even after they played catch-up, I feel like the gaming industry at large, or at least gamers at large, kind of realized that movement control probably was not going to be the future of gaming. And just because it's tiring...
Well, you know what it is? It is the future of gaming. It's just the long future of gaming, because if you take something like, okay, we had the Wii came out, right? Mm-hmm. Motion control. Nintendo or Microsoft and Sony said, we don't want to do that. We'll never do motion control because... no one wants to waggle their arms around. That's what they both said. Mm-hmm. And then they both came 4 years late to the party with Kinect and Move, right? Then the Kinect spawned Kinect 2.0. Now you see the IllumiRoom demo, right? And what's IllumiRoom? It's made with Kinect sensors. And then you see the new IllumiRoom where they walk around, they play whack-a-mole on the walls by, just moving, and it reads their movement. And then they shoot, and it shows things on the wall. And this is the baby steps to 20 years down the road from now having holodeck style gaming. You know what I mean? A truly immersive environment.
Well, there's a big difference there. Like if we're talking a true holodeck, like I can get in a human hamster wheel and run and touch and experience things as if it is reality. That's one thing. Mm-hmm. I'm talking about you just have to, like if I want to play Zelda on a TV as we know it today and I have to like do this, but nobody can see this, but move my arms to aim a bow, that gets old real quick.
Now, see, I didn't, with like Skyward Sword, I didn't think it got old.
Yeah.
Everything in Skyward Sword to me was amazing. It was perfect. Everything moved just right. You could tell they put the right amount of effort and research and development into the game, and it provided an experience to me that was unparalleled in most other games that feature motion control. You just want to move your thumbs.
Just want to move my thumbs. As an occasional novelty, like for things like Wii Bowling, absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
But I don't think for it, I'm coming home after like 8-9 hour day at work. Mm-hmm. I don't think I want to spend 4 or 5 hours, having to move my arms for it. Mm-hmm. But that's not everybody. You might love it.
Yeah. Well, depending on the game, I loved it.
Right.
So we talked about Star Fox Zero, Legend of Zero, Triforce Heroes.
No, that's the open world one, right?
That's the co-op.
Oh no, that's the co-op for portable with where you can do 3 people and it has online.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, that looked pretty interesting. I don't know if it's something I'll get into. I don't play adventure games on handhelds very often. But
I did like A Link Between Worlds, but just because it was like the spiritual or maybe even direct sequel to
it was very well done. My thing about Nintendo, and the only thing I think that didn't put Nintendo say above Sony, and I said they were kind of neck and neckish, is that a lot of their stuff was the handheld stuff, and I don't get into handheld stuff as much.
Oh, I love handheld.
I like handheld puzzle games. Give me a Mr. Driller or a Tetris any day, because I play handhelds in small bursts.
Yeah, small bursts.
But
for sure.
Adventure games are harder for me to get through and get into. So
I like them because like I'll keep it like by my bed. And if I'm going to bed, I'm just like I want to play a little more games. Like then I'll play Zelda.
See, I throw on Netflix when I go to bed. So
I don't know. 3DS does Netflix mods.
There was the announcement for Hyrule Warriors for 3DS too. Did you see that?
Oh, are they bringing that to... Yeah. I don't care. Don't care.
Yeah. Metroid Prime Federation Force.
Now see, I didn't get to see the video for this. I heard about it, but I heard it was not a legitimate Metroid
game.
It's like not Metroid.
They look like mech suits more than anything. And it also features the Blast Ball. Did you see the Nintendo World Championships? The 2015? No. They played Blast Ball on that, and I'm going to say it. When the ball dropped originally, I thought, this is corny crap. Why are they even include? By the end of the game, I was like, wow, that looks kind of fun.
Yeah.
I would play that. I don't know if I'd buy it.
Right. But like I'd steal it from someone.
I'd play it with a friend, though.
Right.
Like it looked pretty interesting. Fire Emblem Fates. First, I'm not into games like Fire Emblem. We already know that about me. But man, is it beautiful.
I jumped on spit. I appreciate those games for what they are, but like you, it's just not for me. And
it looks like you're playing an anime. I mean, I was enthralled, like entranced by the trailer that they were showing, because at first I didn't know quite what it was. Like, ooh, what's this? Mm-hmm. And I'm watching and I'm just like, wow. I would almost want to play that. It might be one of the prettiest games I've ever seen.
Yeah.
For a 3DS.
Right.
It was just beautiful. It looks like an anime that's just moving for you, and like it was just astounding. I thought it was really nice looking.
Sure thing.
I would try that game just because it's so pretty. Yeah. What else? Xenoblade Chronicles, yay! Whatever.
I like it on the 3DS. I've been playing it.
Yeah, have you?
Yeah.
I'm not a big Xenoblade fan, so Animal Crossing Happy Home Designer.
Animal Crossing I liked until it started causing me anxiety. Then I didn't like it anymore.
Why did it cause you anxiety?
Because I would just be sitting there thinking about, like, I got turnips growing, I got stuff I got to deal with. Like, it became this one of these things. The whole game unfolds in real time. And I have this cutesy little house, and I'd be like, you know, like, oh, I have to go catch insects. Like, it became just too stressful for me, which is ridiculous given the premise of the game. But
now, they have the also the Amiibo festival for.
Don't even talk about Amiibos. I don't care.
Let's move on to Super Mario Maker.
That was really cool. And that's the thing, I mean, basically it's a Little Big Planet clone as far as I'm concerned.
It's so much more, though.
It is not so much more than Little Big Planet. It's so much less than Little Big Planet, anything.
You know why it's more? It encompasses every...
not even justify this.
Yes, every side-scrolling Mario game ever made. You can take any enemy you want. You can take any... level feature that you want. You can make anything happen that you want. You can stack enemies on top of each other.
Right.
You know, you can do anything you've ever seen in a Mario game. You can create your own Mario game.
But that's still a fraction of the content in Little Big Planet or what you could build.
See, I don't want to do any of that work. I just want to play a sweet Mario game.
Then all you have to do is download someone else's levels and play them.
Oh, you can do that?
Yeah,
oh,
man.
That's cool.
You can play... Reggie himself could make a level and you could go play it.
Or I could buy a game that a professional designer already made to be awesome and be done with it.
Well, okay, that's great, but why do I always rave about Time Splitters?
Because the level editor.
Right.
Yeah.
We've got a game that's it's a great gaming experience. Okay, I can have that with any Mario game, but I want infinite creative and replay value. You know, like Minecraft has infinite creative value.
Yeah.
It's not a game that someone else built for me. You know, it's a castle that I've built myself. It's an environment that I've cultivated myself.
That's not even a castle. Doesn't even do that thing justice. That is I mean, there are human-built monuments that I don't look at in as much awe as I do Chateau Muz.
It is pretty crazy.
Like it's unbelievable.
Wait till you see it when we get our HoloLenses.
Yeah, because I look at that thing, I'm just like, Eiffel Tower ain't shit.
How much time have you put into that?
I got it I never played Minecraft until it came out on the 360. And the day it came out on 360, I got it. And I've been working on that one world ever since.
That's nuts.
One world. It's pretty crazy.
You've got a video showcasing that, right?
Huh?
You've got videos showcasing that, right?
I need to do more. I did one a long time ago.
Please do another one so I can see the latest update.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
And seeing it on the Xbox One is a lot different because my old footage is on the 360.
It's more like Disney World than a castle.
But in the same way that I love Time Splitters, not mainly because I love its story, I love how it's done, but because of its level editor and because it has that infinite replay value, that's what I'm going to love about the Super Mario Maker. So just the idea that I can jump in on the Wii U and make any game with infinite possibilities and play through other people's levels and make my own levels and on one of these all-time favorite franchises, to me that's just a great idea.
I appreciate. I just know that I won't have the time to dedicate to it. But the thing that I love most about the announcement was kind of seeing basically the creators go back and talk about the process back then of how they would painstakingly map out these levels with graph paper, and then if they want to make modifications, they have to do transparent paper over that, and then kind of draw in where their edits would be.
Yeah,
like that was very cool because I feel like I just kind of got like this little portal into 30 years ago now.
Right. What it took, when they they drew them up and then they coded what they had there, and now it's just this software where they draw in stuff.
And to me, it's just insane to think that back then there was somebody hunched over a drawing table, literally sketching out what would become just this monolith of an entertainment medium, over the years. And just, I don't know, that was my favorite part.
And you aren't excited that you get to now make like you get to be the one saying, "Oh, I want my level to look like this."
Still trying to pull me over to this Muzz. But I'll probably pick it up. Stupid.
Oh, Yoshi's Woolly World.
I like Yoshi games. I'm cool with that.
It looks pretty good.
Yeah,
I gotta say, for cutesy,
interesting presentation. That's
definitely
any game that has like a very unique kind of art style to it immediately grabs me, even if it's a completely crap
Although
game.
I didn't think it was a stretch from Epic Yarn.
Right. Yeah.
And I thought that was like kind of unoriginal to go the route they did with this one. But I mean, it looks good.
Right.
I mean, there's no denying it. And I believe I saw little knitted Yoshi amiibos that you.
Oh, they're actually knitted?
I think they're doing actually knitted ones, or at least they look knitted.
I don't want to hear about figures.
Yeah. I'm with you. I got too many Skylanders as it is.
It's too many.
Yokai Watch look kind of like whatever. Look like Pokemon to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not into it. Mario and Luigi Paper Jam.
Interesting to me to combine like Superstar Saga and Paper Mario, which I like both of those games. They were both great, but to see them kind of mashed together, I just feel like Nintendo was just like, this is cool, just put them together.
I didn't like Paper Mario at all until it came out on the Wii. Well, I didn't like the turn-based.
Oh no, well that's the thing. That's the only one I played. I did not play the 64 Paper Mario.
Oh, okay, that one was 64 and the 1,000-Year Door on the GameCube were turn-based, and I was really turned off of them. And then somehow I ended up putting it in on the Wii and being blown away by it and loving it.
Right.
So, just one of those things that...
The humor in those games is amazing.
Oh, yeah. Just outstanding. And the idea that, you got a 3D Mario talking to the Paper Mario like, oh, you're me.
Right.
It looks really fun. I'm going to have to wait and see. I'm afraid it might be turn-based. I'm hoping they don't go that route. I hope it's all in real time.
Oh, yeah.
So I can enjoy it.
I prefer real time for those games.
Same here. So we'll see how it comes out. I have high hopes for that one. If it's what I want it to be, then I'm definitely going to try it.
Sure.
Mario Tennis Ultra Smash.
I got a soft spot for Mario Tennis. Mario Golf, loved them both.
Yeah.
I probably would not go out and purchase this game full retail. I'd probably wait for a price drop, but they are solid fun.
Yeah, I'm into it. I watched it. I liked it when they got big.
Right.
And they're playing tennis and they're slamming it. It just looked fun.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I'll definitely give that a shot. And no mention of Legend of Zelda Wii U.
Which is weird because that looked amazing whenever they showed it. Well, there was a Nintendo, what was it, like a digital direct thing or whatever they did? Nintendo Direct.
I think it's got pushed back a little bit.
So it's a really ambitious game.
Yeah.
So that wouldn't surprise me.
So, as far as I'm concerned, take all the time you need, Nintendo. Yeah. Just give me the quality Zelda game that you always have.
Right.
And if it takes a little extra time, I'm perfectly fine waiting because this looks like an immersive Skyrimian type experience, and I'm perfectly fine if I have to wait another year for that.
Yep. Give it to me when it's done. I can wait. Plenty of games to go around.
With Nintendo, it seemed like all I saw was a lot of amiibo support and a lot of 3DS.
Yeah.
And in retrospect, even talking about it now, maybe I will say Sony eked just past them.
I think Microsoft probably took it this year.
Yeah. Oh, I don't think probably. I think definitely.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. There's, just what a showing.
Right.
Oh, did you see the one thing they have on, they have letssupermario.com. Did you see this?
No.
Letssupermario.com. And you can go and you can post your own Super Mario related video.
That's kind of cool because that makes me think of the Super Mario Brothers Super Show, do the Mario.
Yeah,
that's all the first thing I thought when you said that.
So if you make your own Super Mario style video, you go to letssupermario.com and you do it, and it's honestly I didn't pay a whole lot of attention. It's something to do with a charity and blah blah blah, and it seems like maybe something fun.
Right.
So
I don't know why I want to watch Captain N so bad now.
I had some guy in the store freaking out the other day because I had a Power Glove and a Zapper.
Really?
He's like, oh, yo, that's like that. Oh, what's his name? What's he called? I was like, Captain N. He's like, oh shit, dog, Captain N. That was my shit. And I'm like, wow.
It was an amazing show. I'm with that.
He was so excited. I got excited for him.
Is that on the footage of the shop?
Actually, yeah, it's probably still on the...
I'd like to see that guy's reaction.
Yeah. He jumped and everything. He was hopping when he was like, oh, it's my shit.
That's awesome.
So, yeah, I thought that was pretty funny. So, okay, yeah. So I think we're agreed then on at least the order of spectaculartude.
Oh, yeah.
Of
good time to be a gamer.
Each show, yeah. I think... No matter who the winner was this year, who didn't have as great a presentation, there's so much amazing content across all three of the platforms.
Oh yeah. Who won E3? The consumer.
Yeah, right. I think it's a great time to be a gamer, and I haven't felt like this in a long time.
Right.
For the past few E3s, I'm like, oh, so much of this, so much of that. It's so casual and it's so crappy, but it seems like there's some really good content coming around this time.
Yeah, I will say I really appreciate that we finally moved away from that bullshit from a few years ago where everyone was talking about the living room experience and TV. We don't care. Talk to us about games, and that's what they did.
Yep. That was nicely enough, missing from this one entirely. No one talked about the extra features of the Xbox One, or they did talk a little bit about that PlayStation TV thing that they're doing.
Yeah, that was like a footnote, though.
Yeah, and that was it. I didn't have to hear about PlayStation TV or Crackle or this or that. I didn't have to hear about you can record while you do this, and it just talked about games. That's all it was.
Right.
Oh, another thing we didn't talk about was the codename NX.
Oh, from Nintendo?
Yeah.
I don't know what it is. Is that like the successor to the Wii U?
Yes.
I wonder if that's them trying to play catch up, because the Wii U has performed abysmally bad.
I don't think it is. They're at, 9.2 million units? That's not that bad.
Yeah, but by this point in the Wii's life cycle, how many units were they?
Well, the Wii was a different animal entirely. That was the top selling console.
It's the same as this one without the U.
No, I think. First of all, the Wii U is a marketing disaster, and I think the name being the main problem.
That was a horrible decision.
Yeah, no one knows what the Wii U is. I still have people come in the store have no idea what a Wii U is. They think it's a controller that goes to the Wii.
Yeah.
I hear it all the time. And in the same way that the new 3DS is a marketing disaster. You don't name your console New 3DS. You don't call your sequel to the Wii U instead of the Wii 2.
Right.
And people don't understand what these new consoles are. People don't know what the new 3DS is. I hear it all the time.
Yeah.
What's the difference between the new 3DS and the 3DS? And I have to say, not freaking much.
Yeah, creating confusion in the marketplace is never a good strategy.
Right, yeah, and that's been Nintendo's big problem with the Wii U, I think, in particular. But this NX, I think... I'm imagining, and if things we've heard in the past are right, a handheld hybrid console.
You mean you would use it as a handheld, and then you could hook it up to a TV when you're not, and then use a controller?
Or in some way, yeah, it's like controller-ish, and it works with the console, and then you walk away and you take it on the go. That's what I'm imagining.
Well, Nintendo's always been forward-thinking in this space, and I think that, they have the potential to come up with something innovative that people will try to copy, but I don't know. I feel like the Wii U has put them so far behind. But that's the thing. People always say, oh, Nintendo's dead. No, they're not. They have... How much do they have in the bank?
No, well, not... People forget, not only do they have it in the bank from the Wii.
Right.
When Sony reported a $2.3 billion loss, first year of the PS3. Microsoft reported a $1.8 billion loss. Nintendo, $8 billion profit. $8 billion. They were profiting $8 billion in their first year, billions of dollars every year after for the first 4 years, while Sony and Microsoft were taking losses. They have enough money to take losses for the next 20 years and walk, not mentioning the forward momentum they have with the handheld market.
Right.
The 3DS has, 80-some% of the handheld market right now? They have crushed the Vita. It has no chance. They're going to drop Vita support.
I love Vita so
the
much.
Vita's what the PSP
pretty.
should have been, but it's still not the right handheld console.
What?
It's not the right handheld console.
What's wrong with it?
Did I have to... Test?
Yeah, say it one more time for me. What is the right handheld console?
It's portable. First of all, it's durable. The PSP and the PS Vita, not durable consoles. They're not as portable. You got your thumbsticks. If you put a case on your PS Vita, how big is it? It's hard to put in your pocket. It's open face design, leaves it unprotected. Nintendo's got a hand.
These are circumstantial criticisms,
but they're true. And I'll tell you how I know. I have a Vita. I had a PSP.
Yeah.
I have a 3DS. What do I throw in my bag? My 3DS, because I'm not worried about it getting damaged. I'm not worried about it if it takes a fall. I'm not worried because I know it's a durable system. I know its face can't get damaged because it closes. You know what I mean? But it's really a matter of, and my Vita still sits because I'm afraid I'll damage it. I'll scuff the screen. I'll do something to it. I'll drop it and it'll stop reading games. And it's not as bad as it was with the PSP, but it's not the right handheld.
I don't know. I like the Vita. That's the little system that can for me.
It's the little system that didn't.
Oh, whatever.
Well, I mean, the market is proof of how successful the Vita is.
I don't want to say the marketplace numbers, Muzz. I want to live my closed off little bubble devoid of logic and reason.
But in that sense, look at what Nintendo has accomplished. what, 53 million or
Plus,
something?
they always turn a hardware on profit. That's the thing. People will criticize them till they're blue in the face. Be like, well, it's not as powerful. Yeah, but they're making bank on every unit sold.
And the Wii U may not be the top seller, but it turned a, $70 million profit in its first 3 months.
Yep.
So, I mean, okay, great. It didn't do what they had hoped it would do. The third-party support that was supposed to be there turned out not to be. EA dropped support like that,
Right.
which was sad because they were touting the Wii U originally. Oh, we're going to support the Wii U, and we've got this, and we're working side by side with Nintendo, and they didn't. And whatever reason it was, it probably just because it didn't sell as well as they thought it would, and they expected it to do better, and then when it didn't, they said, well, we're not going to support that.
Right.
But that's typical EA for you. But this NX thing, I mean, it could be interesting. We'll see what they do. I'm curious to hear more about it. I'm predicting a hybrid console of some sort, some kind of handheld,
that sounds like something
home
Nintendo
console
would
hybrid,
do.
something innovative. And, that's always what I expect from Nintendo innovation.
Right.
They're willing to go where other developers won't and give it a shot and see if it works.
Sure.
It panned out with the Wii. It didn't pan out as much with the Wii U. But we'll see what happens with this NX thing.
Right.
I'm sure we'll be hearing more in the near future.
Yeah, without question.
And I think with that, we are over, and we need to get off of here. But you can always check us out on, NerdKO.com, on SoundCloud, on iTunes. Tell your friends, share the videos. Check us out at NerdKO.com. And Josh had a plug he wanted to throw in there.
Yes. For Geeks Podcast, one of the things that I've been doing lately and have been having a lot of fun doing, and got to harass Muzz and Sleazy today in a very irritating way before Muzz stole my phone in the middle of it. I've been doing a daily vlog with Monster Popcorn. We're both doing them independently. 100 vlogs in 100 days. It was a horrible challenge because it's incredibly taxing and tiring, but you can see me do really fun stuff. You go to youtube.com/geekspodcast, like pull the weeds in my backyard, harass fast food service workers, and generally just play games and live my life in a very normal way. But I try to make it interesting with a lot of cool music. So.
Sounds like fun.
It is fun.
Yeah, and also check out L1 Games at YouTube if you haven't already.
Yes, subscribe to all the things.
Yes, all of our stuff. It's just stuff.
It's great stuff.
And that's it.
Yeah.
So with that, we are out of here, and we will see you all soon. Thanks so much for listening. And please let us know what you thought of E3 this year. Hit us up on Twitter. Leave a comment right here or whatever you want to do. Let us know, and we will talk to you soon. Thanks for listening.